Yeah, they had a big-time win versus Carolina. When it's a young team with a young coach, and they've gotten better throughout the course of the year, and it'll be, one of our bigger rivals, and we got to go down there and get a win.
That's Raheem Morris talking about coming to New Orleans this weekend, and Falcons will do it shorthanded. On Sunday, Michael Penix suffered an injury. Drake London also injured. Here was the Monday update on Michael Penix, whose season is over.
Obviously, the big injury news that's come out today, Mike will go to IR. Don't have any further information on some of those type of things, but just putting out that he'll go to IR, so that'll be at least a 4-week deal. If anything comes up after that, obviously got some second opinions. There'll be a bunch of different things that has to go on over the next couple of course of the days and figure out what else that is. And
so Michael Penix with the knee injury goes to IR. Drake London, by the way, here was the update on the receiver.
Drake, another big one from yesterday. He'll be probably week to week, and how that thing looked. So we'll kind of figure that out. It's kind of the presence we kind of use when we don't know. But we'll see. You never know. Drake can come back tomorrow and feel a lot better, but we'll get a feel for how that goes, and he'll be a week-to-week guy.
The Falcons have lost 5 straight. They're really scuffling. They're one of those teams right now at 3-7 that's kind of jockeying with New Orleans, Miami, Cleveland, Tennessee, the Jets for the worst record in the NFL. It would have really been nice to see the Falcons actually beat Carolina this past week just for that sake. But the Penix part of this is obviously notable because look, he's been their starter there in Atlanta. And so you're replacing a guy that's thrown for nearly 2,000 yards this year, a young player, but their starting quarterback, and also Drake London, who is by a wide margin their leading receiver. So Drake London on the season for Atlanta has 60 receptions on 94 targets. For context, the next closest targets is Kyle Pitts, their tight end, with 62. So he's got 30. Drake London has 32 more targets than the next closest pass catcher. And he's got 810 receiving yards, where Bijan Robinson is next at 506. So again, receiver, next closest on targets is your tight end, and second closest on receiving yards is your running back. So he is, by a mile, far and away, their best wide receiver. The next most productive wide receiver is Darnell Mooney with 16 catches for 224 yards. Like, it's Drake London. Massive drop-off when it comes to your receivers, which, for the Saints, who have been really bad at cornerback, have a little bit of a bonus here with Drake London not being there. Not that you ever want to cheer for anyone to get injured, and I'm certainly not cheering for that. It's just something that has to be discussed here at how this alters Atlanta. As a matter of fact, Morris was asked if the offense would look any different with Kirk Cousins under center as opposed to Michael Penix.
It's fair to say it'll look different. Obviously with Kurt and Mike, different playing styles definitely look a little bit different. What Kirk can do really well, that's what we'll try to do. Things that he does well, the thing that he did well for us when he was starting. Some of the things he's done in his past, we'll be able to do some of those things. We'll definitely bounce back and definitely get some, have an ability to sit down and talk with him throughout the course of the week. But definitely fair to say that it'll look different than what it looked with Mike. You named a lot of the differences, left-sided offense, right-sided offense, some of those different things.
Of course, being that Cousins is a right-handed passer and Penix is a left-handed passer, that's what he's alluding to there. So it does change your protections, your backside protections, all that sort of stuff. But you also likely are going to lean more on Bijan Robinson. Atlanta is 13th in the NFL in rushing yards at 119 rush yards per game. So naturally, you would look at New Orleans, which at times this year really struggled defensively to stop the run, as being a team that they would line up and try to run the ball against the Saints. But it's also fair to mention, the last time we saw the Saints, they were on the road in Carolina, and Rico Dowdle, although he had the quad injury that week, played, and the Saints stuffed Rico Dowdle. I mean, they made it a commitment to limiting the run and making Bryce Young beat him throw the football, and he was unable to do that. And I know Bryce Young has struggled, but this past week, Young went out there and threw for over 400 yards, setting a Carolina franchise record. So my guess is the Saints will try the same thing this week. They'll load the box. They'll commit to stopping Bijan Robinson. They'll make Kirk Cousins try to beat them throwing the football without Drake London. The game plan's pretty simple. Can they go execute it? But most eyes, of course, for New Orleans this week will not be on the defense. It'll be on Tyler Shough making his third start, his first home start, by the way. So we'll see if the Saints can get out there and get a win on Sunday with the Falcons coming in. A Sunday afternoon game, the late afternoon game, the 3:25 kickoff on Fox. And by the way, Drew Brees is expected to be on the call for that game in the Dome. So that would be interesting. One other little tidbit there as it'll play out Sunday in the Dome. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.